Great. You stay with us. We have Kim Albee. Kim, we're already online. So Kim, I have a problem. I cannot pronounce. I know you represent several companies, but you asked me to put particular one, and it's WPMKTG engine. Is it correct?
Yes.
Great,
yes.
Great. Okay, you can help. You have to help me. Okay, we have Kim Albee, and she will be next. Next our speaker, next our star speaker. Okay, Kim, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great today, Anton. Thank you so
Kim,
much.
You have to explain me why your company calls WPMKTG engine. It took me 1 hour to learn.
It's WP Marketing Engine, so it's just short for marketing. So
yeah, okay.
It's WP Marketing Engine. I apologize. I didn't even think about that from the English to Russian.
Russian has nothing to do. We speak English, but it's still MKTG. Okay, never mind. We have Kim Albee, and okay, what's the presentation about?
The presentation is about how to turn your email marketing red hot. I'm going to talk about a top tactic. 2 tactics actually that will end up increasing email results.
Let's just go with your presentation. It's all yours. Your share screen, and we go with the presentation. Guys, you have questions? Just put it in the chat, and I'll ask Kim about it.
All right. So I'm going to share my screen. All right. All right. So welcome everybody. This is all about turning your email marketing red hot and the top tactics that are producing results today. So I want to welcome you. A little bit about me, and we'll do this really fast. You can follow me on Twitter. You can network with me on LinkedIn. I'm the founder and president of Genu, and our newest offering of email marketing automation solutions specifically for WordPress users is called WP Marketing Engine. And I have the honor of being named the top 40 digital marketing strategists in 2014 and 2015 by the Online Marketing Institute. And I've been engaged in comprehensive marketing solutions and processes for over 14 years. You can also follow WP Marketing Engine on Twitter as well. So let's just jump in. Email marketing is a key pillar to growing your business. So most email marketers are living in the past with practices that are outdated. Many of you may believe what now account to myths about email marketing best practices. Email marketing is one of the highest return on investment of any online marketing tactic, producing $40 for every $1 invested. But the email game is changing, and it's changing dramatically. And understanding and implementing the top tactics are going to dictate your success going forward. Here's my promise from this presentation. I'm going to walk you through the top result-producing tactic you need to be implementing with your email marketing. After today's webinar, you'll be able to achieve a 240% improvement in your open rate and 161% improvement in your click-throughs. That is a bold promise. I understand that. But would you be open to having these sorts of results with your email marketing? What would having these results make possible for you and your business? Let me ask you a question and just think on it. What motivates you? Because here's our big motivators at Genu, and I'm doing this webinar today because we're committed at Genu to providing processes and tools that allow small business marketers to increase engagement and customers. We're in this so you can grow. It's why we have WP Marketing Engine as our new offering. Now, I want to tell you that I'm just not pie in the sky. This stuff really, really works. This is real results that I'm talking about. And here's a quote from one of our customers. We created the first recommended attractor, and you guys may know attractors like lead magnets or ethical bribes or a download that people will give you their email in exchange for, right? And they got 168 new leads from their initial email. The results are starting to really take off. We're getting more appointments with fewer outbound phone calls, and that is a huge win in itself for us. So you want to think about what kind of results, if you employ these tactics, will give you that promise that I made, that 240% increase in open rate and the 161% increase in click-throughs. Now I want to show you the results of a 2015 email trends report to say, here's the top objectives of email marketers, of what people want to accomplish with email marketing. So they want to increase engagement, increase lead generation, improve acquisition retention of their customers, and improve their lead nurturing. So these are the top objectives for email marketing. Would you agree to this? And I know I can't see your responses. So if you agree to those, that's what most people are saying. This is what they want to see. And now, is there anything you expected to see that you don't see? For example, some of you may have wanted to see, well, I want to improve my sales. And more sales isn't in the list, right? Now, that's one of the things that's changing rapidly in the email marketing landscape. Having email work for you requires you to shift your mindset from selling to adding value and being relevant, hence increase engagement. Sales will be the natural benefit. We're not saying it's gone altogether, but you can no longer be a broken record asking for the sale over and over and over again. So what does this mean? Well, we're going to break down each of these and you'll see how they all come together. We're going to focus actually on that top one, increasing engagement. And if you implement what I'm going to show you, all the others will fall into place also. So how do you increase engagement? Well, you increase engagement by focusing on increasing the click-through rate in your emails. And this should be your number one success metric. So how do you increase click-through rates? Again, going back to the study, this is what people said, increase their click-through rates, these practices. So let's go through those. A meaningful call to action, segmenting your list for really targeted emails, message personalization, testing and optimization, mobile-friendly design, drip or event-triggered campaigns. Some people call those autoresponders, video, email, and social sharing. So those are ways you increase engage or click-throughs. So the truth is, to increase your click-through rate, you must have something for them to click and a motivator that will have them click. So you got to have something, plus you got to have a motivation, right? And that's tough. We have a headlines webinar that breaks down how to craft headlines that work that we just offered last week and we'll probably be offering again in the future. But at any rate, these are things that you really want to know. So everyone pretty much knows that batch and blast is dead. What do I mean by batch and blast? I mean you have a list and you send an email to everybody in that list, right? Now I can tell you right now that if you have more than 10 people in a list, what motivates them and what they're interested in is actually different. So when you do batch and blast, you're going to see decreasing results over time because it's not what's going to get you delivery to the inbox. It's not what's going to get you engagement, and it's not what's going to get you more click-throughs. And I have an example and a case study we're going to show you so I can illustrate this to you. So you don't want your results to suffer. So segmenting your list is important. And then sending relevant targeted emails to those people is absolutely critical. And what does that point to? Well, it points to content, having the content that will resonate with your audience. You've got to have an angle that makes sense to them. Now, I have an offer that I'm going to be making to you at the end that's just a download of it. It's just a download that you can have that will actually help you with tips that I'm not going to cover in this presentation, but that you'll also want to go get. But basically, you want to have 1 to 3 meaningful calls to action. Segmenting you want to do isn't geography or gender-based or things like that. Segmenting that really works and is effective is segmenting based upon behavior, which is one of the best ways to segment, hands down. The reason why most of you can't do it is because you don't have the lead metrics that help you do that easily, which we're also going to show you today. So content and building content strategies is a whole nother subject in and of itself that we're not going to cover at all, but you know that you've got to have great content to have great email marketing. Okay. So what's the most difficult tactic to implement? And I don't think you're going to be surprised. You might be surprised, but the things that we're talking about that make the biggest difference in your email appear to be the things that are the hardest things to do. So they're the things that give you the biggest headaches. So the top tactics appear to have that caveat. And why we think that is because list-based email service providers, like your MailChimps, like your Constant Contacts, etc., don't allow you to have the sort of metrics that make this easy. It's just not what they can give you, because you've got to go beyond opens and click-throughs and what link they clicked on in an email in order to get to the segmenting that we're talking about here. Let's talk a little bit about inbox realities, because this makes a big difference in the way you strategize how you go to the inbox, how you set up your email campaigns. So people get an average of 147 emails a day, right? Now I get way more than that, but emails literally fly by. I'd liken this to to a Twitter account. You know, if you're following a lot of people and people push things into your Twitter account, those tweets may just fly by, and by the time you actually log in, there's a lot of stuff you're not going to see at all. So you know, if you have a good Twitter strategy, you're tweeting multiple times a day to try and see when people will be there so that you can get their tweet, get their reshare, get their click. So I liken an email inbox to that reality today, because that's literally how busy we are. So it's easy to delete emails that are not relevant just based on the subject line alone, right? You go down through and you're like, delete, delete, delete. And it gives you a real sense of accomplishment. At least it does me, because I've got literally hundreds of emails every day. So how do you get attention and engagement in spite of that clutter? Okay. So here's our case study. We had the opportunity to send to a large list. So that's what makes this study interesting. 160,000 people in the list, mainly B2B marketers. And we had a series of webinars that we wanted to use as a lead gen opportunity. Now, we had a series of 3 webinars, and we designed a series of invitation emails and sent the first one to the entire list, and we did it in sends of approximately 40K each. So we kind of split that list up. So we didn't do one big, huge send. We just did them in approximately 40K sends. Now you can see the email we sent, very straightforward, but we had 3 links. The top link was how content marketing and social can really work for you, secure your spot. And that's talking about all 3 webinars. That's a series. People want to understand how they can do better marketing with WordPress. They could read about WordPress plugin. And then have you read the scoop? And this is a scoop I'm going to offer you guys at the end of the presentation today that you can go download. It's excellent. So we had 3 things. We just wanted to see what kind of interest we would get. Now this is cold sending, okay? I don't always recommend doing this, but if you have batch and blast and you want to find out who's interested, send it out. So we did a send, 1 send to the entire list. Now here's what we got. So you can see that we got a 9% open rate, pretty cold list, 9% open rate. But we got 116 unique clicks through. Interesting, right? Now here's what email service providers cannot tell you, and that is the part that you're seeing right below, which is what this email caused. Because what you want to do comprehensively is, what did they do after the click? Because if you think the click is indicative of interest, it might be, but they could do so much more. And so you can learn so much more. So we know that we had 231 total page views, and we only had 3 links in the email, but 231 page views. So we want to go see what kind of pages. And we also had 58 social shares just from that one first send to that list. Okay. Now, if I click through the page view bar right here, then I see what were all the pages that were looked at. Now here's the scoop. We had 51 people go get the scoop. We had 36 people go check out our 3 events. We had 35 people look at the online version of the email, and we had 31 people look at the WordPress plugin. So, and then we had 37 people look at the homepage of the site we were taking people to. So we can see this. Now what happens? So here's step 2. So that's what happened from that first big send. And I can also click through and look at who each of those leads is. So I could go and say, let's go look at those 31. And then I can actually say, hey, here's what I want to send them this set of emails just to this 31. And I can do that manually before I even have anything automated if I need to. So now here's the second send. So we resent only to the opens, only to the people who opened the email and hadn't yet registered into the webinar series. So they may have taken the download into the scoop, but they hadn't yet registered into the email series. This is a simple email. It has just information that takes us to our event registration page or directly to the one event that was the first one coming up. That's it. And then we told them what our second two were, okay, that were coming up, the other two and the dates. So look at that. Second send, 49% open rate. We went from a 9% open rate to a 49% open rate. That's a 544% increase in open rates just because we looked at who was listening and we went deeper with them. We also ended up with 132 page views. What did that look like? Well, we got 38 people registering into that one webinar. We have 22 who viewed it online. We have the email online, 20 who registered into the second webinar, and 18 that registered into the third webinar. And again, we had another 18 that went and took the WordPress plugin, looked at the content that we had about the WordPress plugin. So now we're seeing how we can even segment further. So you can see we have all this activity and this interest. Now imagine this. Segmentation emails, the primary goal, you could say, is to figure out what people are interested in. So we started with that first email, we continued with the second email. And we want to give valuable content in different categories and see what gets interest. And as soon as it gets that interest, we want to follow up and engage people deeper into their specific interests with valuable content and a call to action link. Now, couple their interest plus your knowledge of what they've already done, and you can get highly targeted with your leads and do even better than what I showed you in that second send. Now, this email is just it's an email for a college, for a class, to look at preparing your vegetable garden for spring. Now, this is an email that they sent to anybody who had ever taken gardening. They very much targeted it in. And as they click through here, they also have a gardening certificate series to become a master gardener that they follow up with for everyone that clicks through and or registers into this vegetable gardening class, getting their garden ready for spring. So now, a lot of you will think about, well, we could follow up with autoresponders, right? And that's true, except autoresponders fail, right? So remember how I said how people are getting on average 147 emails per day and the emails just fly by? Autoresponders fail because you're not giving people enough opportunity to take the action that you'd like them to take and that they may want to take. They're not fostering engagement. They're just automated batch and blast emails. Notice how once I start someone into it, since it's list-based, everybody in the list is going to get all 3 emails. I can't stop that with most email service providers who have autoresponders. It's just what they're going to get. So I've got to set up different emails. So now you waste your opportunity to find out who really was interested in an action. And why is that? Well, let me talk to you about nurturing sequences. They are very different than autoresponders, and they get different sorts of results. So I want to give people an offer, and we'll call that sequence A, what I'm showing you right now. I want to give people an offer, and I'm going to offer them to take action on that same thing up to 3 times. And the email 2 could have a different verbiage and headlines, so could email 3. So email 1, email 2, and oops, that should say email 3 right there. And as soon as they take action, so if they take action on that first email send, then I'm going to move them right into, I'm going to stop. They will never see those other 2 emails because as soon as they take action, I'm going to suspend sequence A and I'm going to sign them up for sequence B automatically. And that's a lead at a time as that happens. And I'm going to follow up with email down that line that goes with what they just signed up for. And in the middle sequence there on email 2, I'm going to offer them something entirely new, right? So now you have a choice. So if you send this and you go to email 3 But at email 2, they take action. You now have a choice, and it's up to you. This is a wholly different thing. They could get email sequence C and still get that third email on email sequence B because they're not asking for the same thing. This was an action, and they took it. So you have your choice of whether or not you want to go ahead and send it or whether you want to suspend so they don't get this one, and then they just go into the new sequence. But you see how that works? So both are relevant. Whatever I do there in sequence B and C is relevant because it's expressed interest. And there's people that will tell you that if you can get that interest, people will take action and they will allow emails to come in 3 to 5 times a week as long as you have relevant emails. So you see how that works? Now you're getting the offer in front of them multiple times to give them an opportunity to take action. And when they take action, you automatically stop asking them to take action and immediately provide them with new content that's relevant based on what they downloaded. Okay? So now, what if you could be more purposeful with your emails and what if it were easy? So let's talk about the next thing. If you could search, save, and engage, what do I mean? Well, build a custom dynamic audience for your email. You can come in, you search based on the things that are relevant about who you want to engage, and based on leads' activity, interest, and behavior. Then you save that search. You then associate, so here we go, you then associate that dynamic search as the recipient list on an email, and the email search is run at send time, and everybody who matches will be in the recipient list. That's dynamic. That's not a static list, that's dynamic, and segmenting is easy when you have great lead activity tracking. So you want to engage with the interested. You want to send relevant emails based on previously expressed interests. So whether that's dancing, you can say, now here's 10 things you didn't know about line dancing. Stay engaged with offers that have value to your audience. Paint a picture of their possible future when they are your customer. So offer them more. Know your audience. Now here's some basics just to review. Your behavior-based segmenting. You can't do it well with email service providers. They're list-based, not lead and activity-based. You want comprehensive lead metrics like I showed you. You want what allows you to see what a lead is interested in. Do you know what they downloaded? Do you know where they have spent time on your site and with your offers? The opportunity is to go deeper with content into areas they will truly value. And then you automate based on activity triggers that can ensure that the right message goes at the right time to people. Now, I'm winding this up so we can take some questions. Here's the promise that I made at the beginning around giving you a download. This is the single biggest reason your emails don't get read. There are 3 top reasons why your emails are not being seen by your leads, and we also go through how you can fix it. So I invite you to go ahead and download that scoop. It's free to download in exchange for your email. So that's what we ask for. And then beyond that, I'm ready for questions, Anton.
Just explain to me. Yeah, you know I have a license for stupid questions here. Oh, it's only me. Rest of them they have to ask, as they have to come with intelligent questions. You said you can't do well with email service provider. So with what you gonna do all of it?
Well, you can use what I look at is there's email service providers that are list based, like your Constant Contacts, like your MailChimps, and then there's providers that are more in the marketing automation side of the business. And the marketing automation side of the business does far more tracking. These are like WP Marketing Engine or Genu. This is like Infusionsoft or HubSpot or like that. That's in that vein of tools that's going to give you that kind of tracking, and it makes a huge difference in what's possible.
I see. Okay, we had Chad White from Litmus just before you, and it was kind of a long or interesting exchange about. He said the future of email marketing will be in hyper-personalization. You basically,
yes.
you say similar thing with a different one, segmentation.
Yes. Yes.
What about privacy? Everybody were asking and keep asking about privacy.
Well, I think it's a good question, but here's the thing. So I can track everything that you do on the site, and I can track all the things you purchase. I can track all of those things in a comprehensive lead database. Now, how am I going to invade your privacy? And let me ask you this. if you had things that came around you that were offered to you that came into your inbox that are actually relevant to the issues you're trying to solve, that are relevant to the things you're interested in, wouldn't that be a heck of a lot more engaging than receiving stuff you don't care about? And that's what tracking allows you to do. So when you talk about privacy, you have to have a privacy statement and a privacy policy, and you want to treat your leads like gold because they're important to you. They will help you grow your business if you treat them well.
Yeah, my question was, obviously we're gonna in more sophisticated software, artificial intelligence, all these kind of things, and you probably will be tracking not only my activity on your website, but probably will put some pixel or something and will track me all over the internet eventually.
Yeah.
And eventually and you probably will be very relevant. You will be offering me something I do need,
right.
But I'm not sure I would like to, for example, I open my inbox and say, oh, you have to buy toilet paper because your toilet paper is almost free. I'm not sure I want this.
Yeah, I know. Now, here's the thing. This is even a bigger question, right? So yeah, there's tracking and it's going to help people target and delight you more. But look at it this way. Look at what the biggest inbox delivery that you want to get as an email marketer is now Gmail. It's Google. So Google is Google is an algorithmic. They're an algorithmic company.
Sure.
So now your delivery, get this, your delivery is now set on whether you have a good site reputation on your domain, whether or not people are opening your emails and interacting with them. And one person may get it in the inbox, the next person may get it in their spam folder. And they also know, Google knows, and talk about privacy, they know who you're connected with on social media too. So that's a much bigger
question. I agree with you 100%. I think Google has too much power. I agree with you. I talked to Google strategist. I was already saying it with Chad White, and he told me that next fridge, Google fridge or whatever you call it, will know everything you want to buy, when you want to buy, how much it will cost, and I personally don't want it. I don't know.
Yes.
So, I don't want to receive too relevant emails for something. Okay. They're gonna shoot me if we won't stop now. It's very interesting, very engagement, and segmentation. It's a way to future of email marketing. Yes. Thank you very much, Kim. Thank you for this.